Hey, welcome to Long Distance Sisters.
I'm Tori.
I'm McKenna.
And I'm Serena.
Come chat with us while we're far apart.
Okay, let's get started.
All right, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Long Distance Sisters. This is our third end of year recap on our favorite things from 2023. Well, that didn't come out right, but you get the idea. So we have a list of just topics and our favorite things in those topics. We're getting a tour of Tori's house. My gosh, I'm getting dizzy. But we have a list of some topics and we each have some favorite things from this year pulled into them. They may have come out this year or they may be old and we're just now discovering them. So
Yeah, in years
That's
past, I had a lot of old stuff that I would mention, but this year I have a lot of stuff that's like new to 2023, or like if it's a TV show, it might have had a new season come out this year, so it's still like relevant.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know, this was a weird year. I feel like in terms of, I don't know, like, there weren't any, I mean, I had major life milestones, but I feel like in terms of like pop culture moments, this year was kind of lacking. And I mean, part of that was like the writer's strike and SAG-AFTRA strike. Like, there was less media coming out and being produced, but just in general, I don't know, it feels like, you know, didn't get any major like progress on many of my shows or movies.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, music.
It was the year of Taylor Swift and that's it.
It was. That
Yeah,
was
according to Time.
That was everything.
That's all that happened.
Which was great. But that's like the only thing that comes to mind this year is Taylor Swift.
I don't know, I have quite
All
a
right,
few
well,
pop culture stuff written down, but we'll get into that later.
All right, TV, Victoria.
Well, I don't really like watch TV anymore that much. Like, I used to watch a lot of TV, but this year one of my big goals was to read more. And I did that, and to the point where I really wasn't watching TV after work or anything at night. I was just going to read in my room. Which I loved, which was great, but because of that, I didn't really watch that much. I definitely watched both seasons that we got of Selling Sunset. Because that's my favorite, like, you know, background on folding laundry and stuff. So those, and I watched the second season of Summer I Turned Pretty. But really, I don't think I really watched anything else like for the first time. That at least not that was like really impactful.
Yeah, this was the year I discovered Selling Sunset, Selling the OC, Selling Tampa. All of them.
Yeah. Well, what were your favorites, Serena? I know we usually go oldest to youngest.
I also had The Summer I Turned Pretty, season 2, definitely. Even though like it's very cheesy, I just think it's cute. And this year I also read the books too. So it was nice to like be like, oh my gosh, they're doing the thing that was in the book. That was fun. And I read the books. There's 3 of them, and I've read them each 3 times. So
Did I buy the books?
No. I got them on thriftbooks.com. Yeah.
I think you mentioned last Christmas that you almost bought them for her.
And then what else did I have? Oh, I watched the show called Outer Range on Amazon Prime. I don't know if I can recommend it though, because I don't know if they're going to make another season. But I guess it depends on like the strike and stuff. But it's very good. But it's another thing where it's like another show where people accidentally kill someone and then they don't go to the police. I'm tired of it. It's
Yeah.
Oh my
all of
God.
this could have been avoided. Like all
Uh-huh.
of it could have been avoided if you just went to the police right away. Like sure you would have gotten a little jail time, but you think you can get away with it? You can't. Anyway, from what I watched of the first season, it's very good. And then I started watching Drag Race this year, because one of my favorite YouTubers, who I'll talk about later, I specifically went and watched her seasons. And then she also had her own show on Discovery, which was the Trixie Motel, which is Trixie Mattel, famous drag queen. She bought an old motel in Palm Springs and then renovated it, and each room is so cute and so eclectic and like it's adorable. It's so cute. It's so cute. So I watched that. It was a very cute renovation show.
Wow,
Mhm.
Serena, when we came on, you were like, I didn't really watch anything.
Well, I didn't like even like think.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
My first one goes back to, I'm pretty sure January it came out, but it was That 90s Show.
Um,
I thought it was cute. Like, obviously, for a spinoff, I wasn't expecting that much. And I feel like I got a little more than I expected then. And so it's just like really cute, really fun, and really good throwback for like, because my boyfriend and I are both big like That 70s Show fans, and we both really enjoyed it. We finished it in like 3 nights, I think, of just
oh
sitting
my
down
gosh.
watching it all.
Mhm.
So that was really good. And then I also got into Only Murders in the Building this year.
Mm.
So I'm only
Mhm.
partway through season 3 because I got cut off by Christmas season.
I tried that show and I couldn't get into it. I want to give it another shot, but
You love true
Mhm.
crime too.
I know.
Were there any
I
shows
hope
that came out this year that you guys haven't gotten around to watching it, but you want to?
Oh, hundreds. Everything I want to watch, I just when it comes time to watch, I'm like,
yeah, I'm like I'm not in the mood.
I'm not Gilmore Girls.
Yeah.
Or Friends.
I really want to watch Maid, but that seems so
Oh, that's
sad and
good.
you have to be like in the mood. And
It
I
is
just
sad, but
recently
that is really good.
I just recently watched the show Normal People because like it kept appearing on my Pinterest, like the couple and everything. And it just like it wasn't bad, but I didn't fully get it. It wasn't like I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it. I'd kind of be like, you could skip it.
I think that's a
Like,
book.
maybe, yeah. Maybe the book is more like understandable because they have a lot of like emotional issues. And so like you can't like explain what they're going through unless they talk it out, and they don't really talk it out.
Uh,
They kind of just like learn.
mm.
So,
I know. Even though I only watched like all the Bachelor stuff for like a year, like I watched Colton through Peter basically.
Mm.
And I gave up during Bachelorette 2020 when they like switched Bachelorettes. But I do want to watch The Golden Bachelor.
Mm,
Here it's funny.
it seems so cute.
Oh, I slept through the rose ceremony. Did I get one? No.
People are like loving it.
Oh my gosh. That's so Nana. Nana would be like, I couldn't come to the date because I had to take my nap. Like, I can't do that.
Yeah, and then I know Serena and I have started watching Percy Jackson, but
Oh yeah.
so far so good. But we'll hold true comments until the whole first season's out, I'm sure.
I mean, it's definitely for a younger audience.
Yeah.
But that's okay because the main characters are a younger audience, and the book had that like humor in it, kind of.
Yeah.
Like I just remember in the books when they went to the Hoover Dam And then the kids were like laughing because they were like, "Oh, let's go on the damn tour." Like we said damn.
And I like how like the episode titles or some of the chapter titles, like I become Supreme Lord of the Bathroom. Okay.
Okay. Movies.
Away.
Movies. I think the only movies I watched this year were the Eras Tour concert and Barbie.
How basic.
Yeah.
That's basically the same movie.
I just don't watch movies. I think I watched some of the Spider-Man this year.
For the first time?
The Tom Holland ones for the first time.
Wow.
Wait,
Wow.
Kevin, did I watch anything else this year?
Movies?
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, you don't watch movies.
I don't watch movies. Too much time commitment.
Mhm. Even though show is so much more commitment.
Yeah, I know. But like it's more digestible.
Mhm.
But yeah, but the Eras Tour movie was amazing. I could watch it every day.
Mhm.
If it didn't take up 3 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Watch it on double speed.
Yeah. Have to sing along real fast.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Okay. My first one is Haunted Mansion. I enjoyed this version of it a lot better than the Eddie Murphy version, mainly because the Eddie Murphy version, I feel like I watched too much as a kid, and the like skeleton scene like just really creeped me out too much when I was little.
Mhm.
So it just left like I just don't have the best memories of it. But I thought this was like a fun adaptation. I like the little Easter eggs and everything. I like how I felt like more of the ride's characters were included.
Mm.
So like it felt more nostalgic to me, even though it's brand new. And Owen Wilson always does a fantastic job. So
Mm.
and this one's like it was set in New Orleans. So that's more like the setting, because I'm not sure where the Eddie Murphy one was set, but New Orleans is where it is in Disneyland. So
Mm.
I thought that was nice. But my favorite 2023 movie is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Mm.
I thought, considering it's the longest Hunger Games book, and they had 2.5 hours to put it into, since you're not gonna make a prequel into 2 parts, that would just make it seem like a money grab kind of. And also the middle third of the book is all the games, and I think it would be lame to cut it off in the middle of the games. So I thought where they like cut and condensed was like it made sense to me. There were some parts of it that I didn't enjoy, like how the academy students were like snootier in the movie than they are in the book. But in the movie it made sense because it was like showed how much more choreo. Don't give me that, Tori. You talked and talked and talked.
I have no idea if I watched movies this year besides like Eras Tour and Barbie and like maybe a movie I'd already seen. But one thing I know I watched is a lot older, and it's What We Do in the Shadows, which is it's like a comedy vampire movie that's now a TV show. And so I would like to watch the TV show because the movie was very, very funny. It was very, very funny. I enjoyed it. Would recommend. It's like that, like, goofy vampire thing. I don't know. It's very funny. I laughed. Okay, that's it. Next. Books. Wait, no,
Next
music.
is music. Yeah. Tori.
Well, so as far as music, we already know it was the summer of Taylor Swift. Not that it was new music, but just like being surrounded by her music and seeing all these like TikTok videos of her music or edits of her music and like her surprise performances throughout the Eras tour. Like we got a lot of cool content and performances. And then 1989 Taylor's version came out, which definitely listened to a lot. 1989 is not like my favorite of her. Not my favorite of her albums, but I still enjoyed it and I liked the vault tracks a lot.
Didn't Speak Now Taylor's version also come out?
Oh yeah, and Speak Now Taylor's version also came out, which was one of my like OG faves. So I enjoyed that one. Yeah. Oh, and then beyond Taylor Swift, my other most listened to album was definitely Guts, by Olivia Rodrigo. I pretty much that album really has like no skips for me, maybe one skip. I like it cover to cover. So, yeah.
Nice. Okay. My first favorite music thing is Niall Horan's album, The Show. I, it's hard to choose a favorite. It might be Save My Life. I also really like Science, but I'm kind of biased toward the name. And if you're looking for a first dance song, check out Never Grow Up. And then my second music thing was a concert that I went to, not like a specific song or album. I went to the 5 Seconds of Summer show. I really enjoyed it, and a song, and like I haven't kept up with them too much in the past few years. Like I keep re-listening to like the older stuff. But one song I heard there that I don't think I had heard before was Wrapped Around Your Finger, and I really enjoyed that one. So yeah. Serena, you're muted.
I feel like, you listen to a bunch of random songs and everything throughout the year that you'll really like. But I think albums specifically, besides Taylor Swift, because like, duh. I really liked Sabrina Carpenter's album, Emails I Can't Send. Emails I Can't Send? That's what it is. Yeah. I thought it was really good. I remember listening to it a lot, like at the beginning of summer and everything. And going through it because I kept seeing like videos of her. And her like little Christmas EP was very cute as well. Fruitcake is very, very cute. So that, all that combined, I think was good. That's pretty much what I have.
Nice. All right, on to YouTube.
I don't think I had any new people.
All right.
We had some scandal, but other than that,
That's right, because you were a big
that's
Colleen
Colleen
Ballinger.
Ballinger stan.
yeah, Colleen Ballinger stan.
And she crashed and burned in a jet.
What's happening with that?
Nothing.
Nothing? She's just not making videos anymore, or
She started making videos like around Thanksgiving again. She started vlogging.
Mm.
And like it seems like her viewer count is, I mean, it's not what it used to be, but it's still like really good. So people are returning to her, and I mean, I don't know how to feel about the situation because like I don't know. Obviously, people show you what they want to show you. Never gonna say like I know a lot because even though we're watching her daily blog, we're seeing 10 minutes of her day, really. But she doesn't strike me as the person that would have done those things intentionally by any means. I think I think she just didn't realize what she was doing and how it was coming across. And should she have stopped or asked opinions? Yes, like whatever.
Mhm.
But I don't know how to feel.
And
about
how it affected this kid now. She
Exactly.
didn't like she
and
didn't think
other
about
people
that.
too.
Yeah.
And other people too. And like people getting bent out of shape over like Miranda's humor. It's like, well, like then don't watch her. Like then don't watch her humor. Like if it's not your humor, then don't partake. Like
hmm
she was saying these jokes because people liked them and people were
hmm
paying her to see them. So
Yeah.
like if you let your kid go to that show and it wasn't kid appropriate, that's your problem.
Yeah,
Like,
'cause that is your
not hers.
problem.
Like
Mhm.
sorry, but
Mhm.
she's catering to, you know, that demographic or whatever. But there were other things. And again, I don't really feel like she was like intentionally doing these things. I think she's just the weird sheltered kid that grew up and like didn't get the joke, but just
Yeah,
kept going.
or
You know, like
was
didn't get
finally
that they said
cool.
something that was off kilter. You know, like
Yeah. Yeah. Or was finally cool and like just wanted to like be like everyone else who was making the exact same jokes and stuff.
yeah. And I don't think
Not
she
that it was cool. Like
aged
it's not cool to do it just because everyone's doing it, but
yeah.
like
But she's making videos. I highly doubt she will ever be Miranda again,
mm,
but she's vlogging.
mhm.
There's something else I was gonna say about. Oh, I don't know. I don't know where the kid went. I haven't seen anything about him reacting to the fact that she's vlogging again. So I wonder if there's been some sort of like cease and desist or like defamation sort of lawsuit. Maybe that's
Mm,
keeping him quiet. I
yeah,
don't know.
maybe.
But anyway, moving on. You guys go.
Okay, my first one is Brad and Haley Devine. They popped up for me toward the beginning of the year because they went to, I think they lived in Australia for like 3-4 months at the beginning of the year. They spent most of their time in Byron Bay, but like they sold their house toward the end of last year and they kicked off their trip. They like flew to Sydney, I think on like December 30th, spent New Year's Eve like watching the Harbor Bridge, fireworks and everything. But yeah, and then just went around Australia. So it was like um kind of a big nostalgia trip. Well, not around Australia, they kind of stuck to the East Coast, but it was cool seeing them go to like the Australia Zoo and everything. Um, but yeah, so I really enjoyed their videos. Their like filming style is really cool because it is more like it's very much more like a film rather than like a YouTube video, even though they still are like 30 minutes. They're just like what I'm sure plenty of people dream their like home video aesthetic would be. Because like their other business is a camera company, so they also have like access to all these really cool tools. And they can design their own tools to best suit them and stuff. And then the other one, I got into Kelty O'Connor this year. She's still not one of my like absolute favorites, but I don't know, I really enjoy her style. Although now that I'm mentioning that, I think I forgot about Jamie Falk, um, who kind of does like little workout what I eat in the day, but not really showing. Like she doesn't call them what I eat in days anymore because she like forgets to film stuff. She's like, I don't want you to think that this is all that I eat. Like it's not. But she's recently turned to BookTube, so I haven't been watching her as much. And I've been watching Kelty O'Connor more recently. And like Kelty does like she'll try out wellness trends and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. Those are who I've been watching. But I definitely recommend Brad and Haley Devine if you're into like travel videos and stuff. Serena.
For me, one I had kind of already mentioned was Trixie Mattel. I found her through Brittany Broski, and she's a famous drag queen, and her YouTube channel is very funny. And she has like she has her own channel, but then she also does a lot of work with, I forget the name of the channel, but it's like a channel that has a lot of different drag queen shows, and she has a YouTube video or YouTube platform with Netflix, and it's like drag queens watch, this show or whatever. It's very funny. Yes. Oh, that reminded me of another show I just watched, or not just, but watched this year. Anyway, it's like two little, one's gay and one's bisexual boys in London, or not London, England. What is it called? Anyway, it's very cute. It's on Netflix. But so it's very funny. Trixie Mattel is very funny. And then the other person who I've now watched all of her videos, and I can't believe that I wasn't watching her before this year. Like it blows my mind that I've only like had her in my life for a year when I've now watched everything that she does. But her name's Samantha Joe. I first found her like in January. She was doing a no fast food for 30 days. No fast food or like DoorDash or anything for 30 days. And so she was posting a lot of shorts of her days. And so that's how I found her. And then I started watching her videos, and she's just such a lovely, lovely person. She's so funny. Her videos are edited so well. Like like just in one of her videos I was watching the other day, it was an older video from like a past Vlogmas. And like in the corner of the video, an air freshener went off. And she like for like a split second zooms into the air freshener and like puts a funny caption on it or whatever. And it's like just for literally 1 second. But like the amount of editing that probably took to like do that, just for that like possibility that people are paying attention and would find that funny is good. And her relationship with her mom is great, and they're both so funny together. And her best friend, who's also hilarious, has a YouTube channel. He's had it for way longer. Andrew TMI. He is very funny too. But yeah, Samantha Joe, love her. Love her.
Is she Canadian?
No, she's from
Okay,
Wisconsin.
never mind then. Next is books. I think Tori and I might share one.
Books. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, buckle in. Buckle up.
We limited you to 2.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I can't possibly. As I mentioned earlier, one of my big like goals and things this year was to read more. And hold on. Sorry. Okay. So I accomplished that. I'm not some crazy book talk reader who's like, I read 150 books this year because like how? Like literally how?
Oh my gosh, can I just say something real quick? Like the Jamie Falk person I mentioned, I think she read, I want to say like 81 books this year. And like her Goodreads thing was like, congrats, you're in the top 25%. And I'm like, if she had read, so like people who are reading like hundreds are maybe in
There
the
are
top
people on
5%.
books that are like, I
I was
read
like,
170 books this year. I'm like, what? A book a day?
are they all like 50 pages?
Right, but they're not. I mean, some of it is like people listening to books, which I get, like that still counts, but like
Mm-hmm.
you can definitely get through it faster. But like I'm like, there's no way these people remember as much of the book as I do.
Yeah, or
Mm.
like are like visualizing it and everything.
My goal was 20 books, and I am on my 22nd book currently. So I'm
Whoop, whoop.
very slow. And a lot of the books I read were thick. So I'm pretty proud of myself.
Mhm.
But that being said, I started off the year very strong, finishing the ACOTAR series, A Court of Thorns and Roses, if you aren't familiar. I did the first half last year and then rounded it out this year, and I was like, oh my god, no book series is ever going to top this series. And I still have not found one that has officially topped it. Just because the characters are just so good. Like you just want them to be your family. So buckle up, Serena. I just bought her the first book for Christmas. The first book though, like the first book could be a standalone, and I kind of feel like it was written just in case it ended up being a standalone.
Mhm.
So the first book is really different from the rest of the series. It's very good. A lot of people though give it crap because the beginning is kind of slow. Like the first half of the book, but it's because it's all like world building, you know. So you have to get through that and just know that like the second half of the book is like a completely different book from the first half. Like it's like a total 180. Like you do not that's not the turn you expect it to go, and you're like, wait, what am I reading? Like what?
Yeah.
I didn't know this was gonna be the rest of this book. And then from there it's just a wild ride. So started off strong there. No book series has topped it, but I've heard the other series in the Sarah J. Maas universe, because all three of her series are connected or happening in the same world. They're not really like connected. But they happen in the same world. I'm currently on Throne of Glass. So a lot of people say Throne of Glass is actually their favorite. Like ACOTAR is more fun, maybe, but Throne of Glass is more like epic. And then Crescent City is the last one, which I have not started. And then I also read Fourth Wing this year and Iron Flame. And people are giving these books so much freaking crap, and I'm just here to say, let people read what they want to read, whether or not it's a well-written book. Look, we all freaking went crazy over Twilight. It's so poorly written, and we were still enjoyed it. It was still a captivating story, okay? Fourth Wing is the same. It's poorly written. It is, okay? It's not great. Yes, it's full of tropes and stereotypes and
And lots of jaw ticking.
yeah, like it's formulaic as fuck, and because that is what sells, it is fast fashion, but for books. Like I understand this, you know. However, I have read very few books. Not very few, I would say. It definitely falls in the category of books that made me like want to keep reading it. It was page turning. It was enjoyable. I fell in love with the characters. Like, and I finished the book with a book hangover, you know, like so to me, I'm like, even if it's poorly written, clearly it's still like really good. Like I really enjoyed it, you know, I was very entertained and I want to learn, want to keep reading. So people just need to stop giving crap to these books and let people read what they want to read. If they want to read formulaic, trashy books, just let them. Okay? You don't have to be all hoity toity over there with your literature. Guess what? I read that too. Okay, I can read it all and love it all. So yeah, Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, very much enjoyed. Um,
I have a
and
question.
what?
So,
Mhm.
comparing can you quickly compare like the fantasy elements in the Sarah J. Maas universe versus those in Fourth Wing? plus the degree of smuttiness between the two, in case someone like me who has read one wants to see if I would be interested in reading another.
Okay, so compare the fantasy element, like specifically, like
Yeah. And just the
So
level of
Fourth Wing-
smuttiness.
Fourth Wing is a world that magic exists and can be used by specific people, aka the Dragon Riders and beyond. I'll leave it at that. And then there's dragons that they are friends with.
That they are
Bond-
the pets of.
Yeah. But outside of that, as far as we know in the world, that's all that exists. Dragons and humans that can some humans that can wield magic. In A Court of Thorns and Roses and Sarah J. Maas universe in general, it is a world with magic. But the magic is in people who are fae, like fairies. And so it's their magic like they can use, right? So humans exist in the world, but they don't have magic. And there's kind of like a big divide, like a class divide of like humans and fae. In A Court of Thorns and Roses, most of it takes place in the land that is ruled by the fairies, the fae, which they're not like fairies like Tinkerbell. It's just a term for like magical people. And it's more like ominous, like it's not like, oh, pretty fairy tale kingdom. It's like fays will kill you. Like fays kill humans, they're scary, like never trust a word they say, kind of a thing. Like and so there's a lot more like magic in the Sarah J. Maas books. Like in what you would think of having magical creatures, having powers, and different people have powers, and they can use them how they want, and all the fairy people are beautiful, and their land is beautiful, and they have all these like magnificent like kingdoms and things like that. And like Fourth Wing has a more, I would say, kind of like dystopian, like darker vibe. And I mean, in A Court of Thorns and Roses, the whole overarching storyline is that there's this like looming power that people want to get rid of, right? Like, I won't go into detail of what that is. So, I mean, it is dark and there is like battles and war and goriness and all that as well. But the setting is like a nicer place, like a pretty place. It's just going through a war at the time. Fourth Wing has, I think, it's smuttier. A Court of Thorns and Roses gets a big rap for smut, but like in the first book, there's like hardly anything. Like there's like maybe one scene, and I don't even think it was that detailed. I think the second and third books have a little bit more than the first, but still like it's a handful of scenes, and of that handful, maybe one gets really like explicit, but I would say the smutty scenes are more like a lot more romantic, not so much like hook it up, like in Fourth Wing, they kind of come across as hookups. But however, the final book of A Court of Thorns and Roses is by far the spiciest. Not by number of scenes, there's still only a handful of scenes, but they are much, much, much more graphic. And I would say those are worse, not worse in a bad way, just like smuttier than any of the Fourth Wing scenes I read, including Iron Flame. Those scenes, just because they take it to another level. But anyway, that was really long-winded. But I was gonna say my honorable mention for books this year, outside of the fantasy epic genre was not a book that came out this year, but Crawdads or Where the Crawdads Sing. Beautifully written book. Beautifully, beautifully written. Like I so thoroughly enjoyed reading every single word in that book. And I read it really fast because of that. Like it was just beautiful. Beautiful. And if you like to romanticize the marshes of the Carolinas, read that book.
Very specific.
Well, she's like living in the marsh.
Yeah,
and so-
yeah. But I just mean like if you fantasize about this specific place.
I feel like a lot of people do. A lot of people have been to like the Outer Banks and stuff.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So for me, I was on the Fourth Wing train too. It's definitely smuttier than I would like it to be. That way more than anything I've ever read combined. And also a lot more cursing than I care for. But like Tori, I had a book hangover when I finished it. So that kind of speaks for how much I enjoyed it. And I love dragons. I've always loved things with dragons, like my dad. Dragons are cool. And then
Why didn't you watch Game of Thrones then?
because I tried watching it twice, and I just could not get past the first episode.
Because the dragons aren't
They
even
were
alive
naked.
yet.
Okay, they were naked. I couldn't do that.
If you
People-
ask
you're-
any Fourth Wing fan, the ones in Game of Thrones are not dragons.
Whatever.
wyvern.
Whatever. In their world,
Legs, dragons have 4.
in their world, they are dragons.
Well, they
Period.
didn't make up dragons.
They made up those dragons.
Yeah, but they didn't make up the concept.
No, but in their world, they're dragons.
I know.
Step
just-
off the best show of all time.
Okay, anyway, my second book is from the new Kingdom Keepers spin-off series, Inheritance. It's The Shimmer. Woo woo! Ridley Pearson's done it again. He's brought I guess this is also fantasy. But yeah, fantasy elements to the next generation of keepers. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed there were some like Disney fan Easter eggs. Like there were some things that people talked about during the pandemic. Like, what if this happened? He's like, here you go, he like a one offline. And it's like, oh, like Coco's Crossing is a ride in the Mexico Pavilion. Like instead of Three Caballeros. And yeah, and they live, I think it's like supposed to be right outside of Epcot, like where is that Crescent Lake back there? Or whatever. Like between Boardwalk and Yacht and Beach Club and stuff. I think that's where they're supposed to be living. So like they still kind of live in Epcot, which was the whole Walt Disney's whole original concept for Epcot. So I really like that kind of like bringing Walt's dream to fruition, and like it takes place a little ways in the future. But I was just like, it's cool. It's cool like speculation about that kind of stuff that some of which isn't really relative to the plot, some of which is. I just think it's fun. But yeah. Love the Kingdom Keeper series for Disney fantasy fans. Serena.
I also had a goal to read more this year because I did not read a lot last year.
It was one
And
book
I-
per year. Or per month.
No, per month, one book per month. And I am finishing up my 15th book.
Yay!
And that's not including reading the Summer I Turned Pretty books 9 times. It's not including that.
Oh wow.
15 different books. They really helped me breeze through it though, because I read those in a week. So that was very helpful. But what do I have? Oh, I did I wanted a page turner fun book to read, like the Summer Return Pretty books. So I, went on Book Talk, and that's everyone was recommending over and over It Ends With Us. So I read It Ends With Us, and I just thought it was like a romance book, whatever. It's so much more than that. It's like Tori was talking about. It takes a huge turn like halfway through the book, and you're like, what? What just happened? No, 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 no. But it's very good. It's very sad. It's very eye-opening for someone who's not familiar with like situations talked about in the book. But it was great. It made me cry, definitely, but it was good. It's a great book. And then I also read the sequel, It Starts With Us, which the author wrote because, everyone was messaging her on TikTok and whatever and saying how much they loved the book, and, people wanted to know what happened after It Ends With Us. And so then she wrote It Starts With Us, which is a little bit of a happier version, or it's not as dark as the first book, which is good, and I think it wraps up that like series nicely. And then Tori already mentioned this series, but I only just started reading it this year, and that's the Twilight books. Very, very good. I like I had to go and rent them from my school library, and I couldn't find it because it wasn't in the Dewey Decimal System. It was in some other order. And I was like, what the heck did I learn the Dewey Decimal System for then? So I couldn't find it. So I worker was like, oh, do you need help finding something? And I was like, Stephanie Meyer. And then the person who was helping was like, oh, is that the Twilight author? It's in the children's section. I was like, I was like, excuse me. But anyway, so I just would get my books from there, and now I'm reading it's Midnight Sun. It came out like 2 or 3 years ago, and it's the first book but from Edward's perspective, which I really like. I didn't want Twilight to end. I wanted to keep reading, and so I was nice. It's nice to like go back to those things and see what Edward was thinking. And I think it's really cool because it was written 15 years after the original book was published, and like the author had to use the same like speaking text, and so she like had to write what Edward was thinking around this text, and like it also probably made him seem less creepy or less demanding, because he comes across very demanding, but then she like uses his thoughts between what he spoke to Bella as like a way to be like, oh, I didn't mean to say it, I should have said it like this, or kind of like whatever. But I think it's very good. You learn more about him, which is cool. So like that. Yeah.
Cool. Next is podcasts. Tori.
Anything new, Tori?
The only really new one I started, Kevin? Wait,
Go away.
or take it back there. I don't really think I listened to many new podcasts, but I did start one that is a newer podcast, called Fantasy Fangirls. And they just like did a whole deep dive on Fourth Wing, and now they're doing Iron Flame. And then in the new year, they're gonna go into the Sarah J. Maas universe. But it's 2 sisters, and it's well edited, which is hard to come by with a lot of the like book review podcasts. A lot of them are just like not that great.
Like us.
Homely. Like us. Exactly. So theirs is like really well put together and very well thought out and points out a lot of really good details and connects a lot of things in the book that makes you just like makes the experience that much bigger when you realize all the like not like Easter eggs, but just like details that you may have missed or yeah. So it's cool.
Nice. We'll have to do like once I finish Iron Flame, or once Serena reads the books, we'll have to do like a theories talk.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was your second one, right? Okay.
She just had the one.
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna, before I get into the two I like got really into this year, I just want to say I started a book podcast. Clearly, Tori has not listened to it.
Well, because it's about a very specific book series.
Well,
Yeah, I
yeah,
haven't read those books, so
I should have brought them down for Christmas.
I
But
don't know.
my book podcast is Hyperion Hype Club. So I review Disney Hyperion books. And so far I have the first two Kingdom Keepers books out, and I'm about to start recording for the third book. But yeah, read along with me. And it's kind of Fantasy Fangirls is the first book podcast I've listened to that kind of structures theirs like I do, like covers a group of chapters at a time and like gives a quick review at first and then kind of goes into little different deep dive sections. So when I listened to that, I was like, oh, that's like I like the way they structure this. Obviously. So yeah, Hyperion Hype Club, check it out. And there's also some reviews, like usually under 10-minute reviews of books like Kingdom Keepers Inheritance, and then a shorts version of that as well. That would be like a 1 minute max. So I recommend that. Other than that, my two podcasts I got really into this year. The first was Fun and Gains, which is done by Brittany Lupton. It mostly focuses on like working out, but there are some other topics that she might get into in certain episodes. Like she had an ectopic pregnancy a few months ago, so she like had an episode talking about that. But yeah, it's like I find it very motivating, and I like to listen to it on my way to tumbling to kind of like get me in the right mindset for it and everything. So I just really like it. I think it's a really nice, like fitnessy kind of podcast. And then my other podcast, what was it? Which one did I end up choosing for number 2? Oh, Life Below the Surface, a Georgia Aquarium podcast. So you get like behind the scenes look at different departments within Georgia Aquarium. And I think it was really neat. And I enjoyed listening to it before I started working there. But yeah, it was really good. I recommend it if you want to learn more about what things are like at an aquarium. Serena.
Cute. I've been listening to kind of the same ones, but this is a new podcast that was started by the YouTuber I mentioned, Samantha Joe, and her best friend Andrew TMI. It's called Famished. It's like famished, but fame-ished. But it's just very entertaining. They're just entertaining people. It's, comedy, but mostly just like them talking and like bickering with each other, which is very fun. Also, I forgot to mention another YouTuber. I'm an ASMR girl. And so one of my favorite ASMR artists, that's what they're called, is Ocean ASMR. Her name is literally Ocean. She lives in Canada though, so I don't get it. But I really like her ASMR, and she's like a very cute person, and she just posted a bloopers reel from this year. It's just really funny. And in one of her videos I was watching, like it was just, a regular ASMR video, and then she like burped and she forgot to edit it out. It was like this so scary. Like and then I went to the comments and everyone was like, "Oh, OMG, the burp." The burp. And she like replied to comments and was like, "Oh, sorry." And she hasn't edited it out. She kept it. She was like, "Whatever." But I thought that was very funny. And I also recorded an ASMR video last night
Oh.
that I have to edit and post. But
Christmas fall ASMR.
yeah. Huh?
What was I doing?
Oh, it was late because I needed it to be quiet. Yeah. I wasn't talking though. It's just like tapping, basically, because I have these nails. Oh, my thumbnail came off, but yeah, it's just tapping. My face isn't even in it, so.
What was your guys' favorite episode of ours this year?
We didn't do that many.
We did not.
I guess our bachelorette debrief, because then I found out like how you guys pulled off everything for the weekend, so that was cool.
Mine was a marvelous talk with Dad. Or so I marvel
Oh,
with him.
yeah, our ranking.
I just think
Yeah.
it's cool to have our parents on the podcast with us.
I think I liked Holiday Plot or Not. That's what I can think of. Because it was quick, it was a game, it was funny. Kevin and Dad were there. It's good.
For me this year, I will say not the food I ate. Just wait till I'm done talking. But I got new pots and pans this year to cook on by Carote, which is a company that was popular on Amazon. So, and they are made with granite, so you can kind of cook on them like cast iron, but they are lighter and you don't have to like season them and like not clean them and stuff like cast iron. So I really like them. I feel like my food turns out way better now. I don't burn things as much. Stuff doesn't stick to the pots or pans as much. So it's been kind of life changing. And then I don't know that I really tried new restaurants this year. Like, I mean, I did, but like nothing that's crazy. Like, oh my God, you know?
Yeah. Any recipes?
Soto, I guess. Soto is good. Soto is a pizza place, Detroit pizza. But I don't know.
Recipes, Trader Joe's items.
But yeah, Trader Joe's, the soup dumplings. Amazing. And I went through a phase of splurging on like the fresh pesto at stores, because rather than like the jarred pesto, but like from the refrigerator section, and just making sandwiches with it. And like, oh my God, I actually ate sandwiches and fresh veggies on them, and like I just splurged, but like it was like splurging on that, but then simplifying your meals, like I don't know. And it just tasted so good. So highly recommend just splurging on something like that. Making some caprese sandwiches with a good fresh pesto at the store if you can't make it yourself.
Yeah.
Or you don't want to.
Okay. I got really into mangoes this year. Before they were a fruit where I was like, I'd rather have something else. I don't know if I want to try the mango. But no, they're delicious. If you've been holding out, give them another shot. Oh my gosh. So good. And then one of my favorite YouTubers, Caitlin Shoemaker, she has a food blog called From My Bowl. The snickerdoodles on there, I've made them so many times because every time I make them and like bring them into work or something, people are like, these are the best cookies I've ever had, if not like one of the best. And like everyone's asking me for the recipe and stuff. And I'm just so I like and I brought some down for Christmas cookies, so I left a couple at mom and dad's house. And I know Tori took a couple home. But they're so good and they'll still be like so soft and moist after like a week.
Tissy, come here.
Say hello to your sisters. My Bogan.
Oh, hello.
Bogan, you come out with me.
So we look cute. The puppies are so good now that Ari is gone.
Yeah.
But food for me. I discovered something this year that I've known about, and one could say has been around for thousands of years, and that is Greek yogurt. Because it has not been a good food year for me. Nothing stands out. None of the food in my town is very good. Like it hasn't been a great food year, and like all of my favorite go-tos aren't hitting the spot anymore. And so I had to like find, no, you're staying. I had to find she's giving me side-eye, a high protein but yummy breakfast thing that could be quick. And then so Greek yogurt with, blueberries, honey, chocolate chips. It's perfect. It's perfect. So yes, Greek yogurt. And then I also started making my own Dole Whip, pineapple Dole Whip. That's, a Disney World classic, but you can make it really easily at home. I literally just buy a can of pineapple chunks and coconut milk, vanilla ice cream, and you freeze the pineapple chunks, separate them from the juice, and then it just takes the juice, the chunks, and the ice cream, and that's it. Got delicious Dole Whip.
Mwah. Delicious. Okay. Beauty. Go, Tori.
This year, earlier in the year decided to do like an overhaul of my skincare routine because, well, I didn't really have one. I mean, I had like face wash for in the shower in mornings, and that was it. So I was like, we're gonna do this like legit routine. We're gonna wash our face in the morning and at night, especially after the gym. Anyway, so I wanted to do like, I don't know, sort of like non-toxic skincare, but without having to spend like an arm and a leg. And so I found the brand Coco Kind, which is it's at Target. And it's like, I guess, the most clean brand that Target carries for skincare. And everything is pretty much like, I don't know, $25 and under in their line, which is pretty good. And everything's like vegan, cruelty free. And so I have tried a couple of their face washes, still kind of trying them to see which one I like the best. But their serums I really like, and again, like you can have the serum without breaking the bank. I especially liked the Glow serum. And their moisturizer I like, so I've kind of been using all of their stuff, and I was really good about it for a while, and I really did notice not a huge difference. I mean, I'm lucky in that my face is not like, I don't like break out that much to begin with. I don't think any of us really do.
Well,
But
not since I got on birth control.
I definitely noticed what?
Fertility suppressant.
I definitely noticed a difference, especially in like the texture of my face, for the better.
So I really have liked that and like using the serum and moisturizing more and just being good about it all. Um, and then what was another thing? Oh, and I also started using the hair masks by Function of Beauty, which Serena got one for me. But I started using that once a week, and it has definitely helped my hair. I tend to get sort of like eczema type stuff, like right up in the crown of my head, like right at the front.
Mm.
And just once a week, like putting the hair mask like specifically on that area, like in addition to like my ends and stuff, has made a huge difference in that too.
Very good to know.
Yeah. And that's my beauty stuff.
My first thing is the e.l.f. Holy Hydration Face Cream with broad spectrum SPF 30 sunscreen. This feels luxurious. It feels amazing to put on my skin. Obviously, the broad spectrum sunscreen, and it like specifies the amount of sunscreen. So I
Hi,
really
Tori.
like it. I use it every morning. So yeah. That, and then the second thing isn't a product. It's just like I was watching one of my other all-time favorite YouTubers, Amy Lynn Sattler, do like a chit chat, get ready with me thing. And so she was like doing her makeup and stuff. And like dad walks in and he sits down and starts watching it too. And then she takes an eyelash curler and she starts curling her lashes. And dad's like, "Oh my God, what is she doing?" He's like, "That looks like it's so painful." And then mom and I are like, "We do that too." And he's like, "What? What? Yourselves?" That moment just really perfect.
That's funny. Eyelash curlers freak me out. I don't use them. I'm like, I don't need to lose my eyelashes again. I didn't lose them from an eyelash curler. I lost them because of me, but yeah, they freak me out. I don't use them. They scare me.
All right, what are your two beauty things, Serena?
Well, one thing mom just brought in when she brought in Tazzy was a face razor, which, because, got little mustaches, got dark hair. And I used to bleach like my hair. Tazzy, just stay. I used to bleach like my little mustache. That's so much work. And like the kit would always not go bad, but like some of the ingredients would become less active, like if it took you a while to use them. So you would waste $15 and only get like 2 uses out of it, even though there was more of other products. So I was like, forget it. I'm just gonna start shaving those things. So these are little razors for your face. They're for more dermaplaning. I don't shave my whole face. That's too much. I hear it's good for you, but there's a lot of things that could go wrong, so I don't even want to bother. But dermaplaning.
Do you have a specific brand you like to use for that?
This is just something mom gave me. I was getting one from Target, that you can just get replaceable heads rather than buying the whole stick. You can just buy one stick and then get a bunch of different heads. So I guess I would recommend that. Oh, Tori's calling. Ooh, I also forgot to mention for food, Sun Gold kiwis. This is not your regular kiwi. This is a Sun Gold kiwi.
You can eat the skin without the fuzz.
No, it's not even about the skin. They're incredible. I am a kiwi hater, and these kiwis are incredible. Thank you to my friend Tabitha for introducing me to them. When she picked them out at the grocery store when we were in Seattle, I was like, I really don't want to buy these kiwis that I'm not gonna eat. And then I ended up eating all of them. They were delicious. They were so good. Great. Oh, okay. And then for beauty, more on the makeup side, I started using like a brown eyeliner just to give me like a little wing, something I can like draw on myself, and then brown mascara. Because sometimes black mascara is like too dark and it just like makes my face look weird. But I started using a brown mascara because, you know, brown hair, brown eyebrows, whatever. It's a little softer, which I like, but
Yeah.
still like it just still does something.
All right, cool. All right, Tori, things you did or experiences or whatever.
I bought a house.
No, that's a life event. That's a life event.
I fixed up a house.
No, well, that's a
Learned
life.
lots
I'm
of-
talking about like mini golf at this cool place or whatever. Or this trip.
I didn't do any of that because I was fixing.
All right.
So I had a bachelorette in St. Augustine, and so we did like a ghost pub crawl. That's all we did this year.
So I'll go on to mine. I went on my first 2 solo trips this year. And one of them
Oh,
was
we know.
whatever.
You don't have to go into detail. You already had a
know
whole
I-
episode.
I know I won't, Tori. You're the one who's been going into detail so much.
Both of you have been.
Okay, well, Tori more so.
You
Anyway,
asked me too
I
about
haven't even said where I went.
We know where you went.
Okay, well, not everyone does. Okay, I went to Guatemala. We have an episode that's been split into 2 parts on that, so you can scroll back to hear about my solo trip to Guatemala. And then I also went on the VIP tour at Disney World. That was dope. That was cool. I don't think it's really necessary, unless you like have the means and you only go to the parks every 5 to 10 years or something. Because like especially 10 years, the parks can change so much. So if you have the money to do it, sure, go ahead. But it was still a cool experience, a Disney adult bucket list thing to check off. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. And thank you to some of our family out in Oregon who made it happen. Okay, Serena.
I went to the Eras tour. I'm very, very lucky and grateful for that experience. And that's all I got.
Okay. Any big life events, Tori? I know you have at least one.
Many.
Yeah, man.
We bought a house. We renovated a house. We sadly lost a dog, which was sudden and unexpected because the dog was young, so it was kind of a major thing for me. And then, had a bachelorette party, had a bridal shower, and I've been planning a wedding. So it's been quite a fucking year.
Oh, there we go. Now we have to mark it as explicit. I guess we already did with the smut conversation.
Yeah.
I got a job. It's part-time, but it's permanent. So I partially met one of my goals. But hopefully I get full-time soon. But yeah, I'm an Aquarist. I love it. Serena?
I don't know. It's like the same. I'm in school. And it is what it is. I guess I have a fellowship for the spring, so I don't need to TA and I get paid a lot more. So that will be nice. It's a NASA fellowship. Outside. Space girl. Not really. I think I was just like the only one who applied that was probably a woman.
Pop culture moment, Tori?
Taylor Swift and the Eras tour.
Okay, but how about something we haven't brought up
And
yet?
a Barbie
Okay,
summer.
okay. No. The
Yeah.
pop culture moment. The pop culture moment of the Eras tour is like every video about problems that happened in the tour. Like just like little things or whatever. And it was called the Errors Tour.
Yeah. That was funny.
Like just like little things, but they all like went viral in their own way. Like when she was like yelling at a security guard to get him to stop like messing with some people who weren't really doing anything. Like like people remixed because she was singing. Oh, what song
Bad
was she
Blood.
singing? She was singing Bad Blood. So like she's yelling at him and then singing Bad Blood and then yelling at him and then singing Bad Blood. So people like remixed that song a lot and like, it's very funny.
Hey,
Yeah.
Tori.
And just like the whole culture of like watching the TikTok live streams and like or waking up in the morning to see which surprise songs she did and like it was just a whole fun thing. And then like topping it all off with dating Travis Kelce and like having all this like football craze and like I don't know. Not that I like participated, but it's just been fun to like have her be more like present in society.
Yeah. And Tori finally fixed her last name. It's no longer Bouter.
Yeah. For
Um,
now.
okay.
It'll go back next time. I don't know. It never stays.
I had a few, but I think the one I have to mention is that this year was the Walt Disney Company's 100th anniversary. And they commemorate it with like Once Upon a Shore and stuff, which is beautiful. Makes me cry. But yeah, that was the top pop culture moment for me. I can say the other ones on my list if you guys run out.
No, I have one.
Okay.
I mentioned Sabrina Carpenter earlier. And so she's been touring like this whole year, it seems like. And so for one of her songs, Nonsense, which is a very popular song, she changes the outro to it at each concert. Oh, Tassie's crying. And so just watching the videos of her different outros it's very good. It's very entertaining.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's just like adds to the list of like
Mhm.
post Eras tour content update.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because she's on tour with Taylor and they're
Yeah.
on a national tour. So yeah.
This year went so fast. Like just the fact that it felt like I feel like I didn't do anything.
It felt like a really long year for me because like I started out in one position and then I went to an
I
internship.
guess.
Now I'm
Yeah.
at a new job.
Let us know your favorite things of 2023. Let me know what skincare I should be using. And
Yes. Same.
and yeah. We'll see ya in the new year.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this week's Long Distance Sisters. Be sure to subscribe for more episodes and leave a good review.
And check out the video version on our YouTube channel.
You can find all of our other social media information in the description. Talk to you later.
Bye.